So you're going to be looking at a video where all the former Soviet states go to war with each other. Now, some ground rules. I decided to make all the Stan Soviet countries allies because simplicity reasons. I also made Belarus and Russia allies, and I also am not counting Mongolia because they were more of a puppet. I'm also not counting the satellite states because they were satellite states, not former Soviet republics. Jesus. And if anything, they weren't really republics at all, because not much democracy. But whatever, they had voting, so it makes it okay. Okay, so let's get to start off with the war in Ukraine. So obviously, Ukraine's been able to push back Russia heavily out of Ukraine, and so in this timeline, if you hear if you hear that, it's my dog. So here we have Ukraine being able to successfully cut off these Russian troops and are able to take them out. And then they also declare war on the breakaway state. I forget what it's called, but they're able to trample through it pretty quickly. Also, put all the nation's capitals in black, so you can just get a better idea of where it is. We have Ukraine trying to push down into Crimea as Russia makes slight advances up to the Donbass region and two more spearheads. This doesn't really work out though. But Belarus, I'm pretty sure they did officially declare war on Ukraine, but I'm not sure. They start sending down their own troops into Ukraine, which come at a bleaching halt when they're slightly pushed back. Over and now, I'm not really sure how this situation will break out, but let's just say it does. So let's just say there's some big conflict and everyone goes imperial slightly. Let's just say everyone has their own reason and that's why they're joining this war. The Stan countries are fearing their safety. Azerbaijan declares war on Armenia, so they pit and that happens. And then Georgia is in war with Russia. The Baltics all have different ideas of expanding into Russia, while some of them do not want to. So with that, they all declare war on each other, except for the allies, like I said before. So over in the Baltics, I'm not gonna have any foreign interference or anything like that. I might have a little bit, but probably not because. So first, let's start off with the Baltics. First, we have Lithuania. Wrong color, frick. So first, we have Lithuania pushing into Kaliningrad, which is part of Russia, and they're able to split it up into two until they meet another halt. We also have up in Lithuania, Lithuanian forces pushing down deep into Belarus to try to take the nation's capital and cut off Lithuania. With this, Belarus decided to jump in on this trend on this trying to cut off people trend. So they start attacking Lithuania and are able to meet in a weird front line thing like this. Over in Estonia, we can see Estonia doing a two-pronged offensive for some reason. So they start pushing into Russian territory while also pushing down into Lithuania. And that is not supposed to be there. How can I fix that? There we go. Back over in Ukraine, we have Ukraine finally being able to successfully repel the Belarusian invasion. And they're also working on trying to liberate Crimea after the 8-year occupation, which is now turned into a 9-year occupation. And actually, I would say it's a little early for that. They're able to slightly push into it, and they're also starting to push Russia out of the Donbass. It is here officially recognized by multiple UN member states as the second most powerful military. Having the second most powerful military in the world due to them being able to get Russia off their tail. And also just to demoralize Russia even more. Here we have the Stan Alliance pushing up from Kazakhstan and trying to get deep into Russian territory. We have a bit of a spearhead going through and hoping to reach Moscow or any of the other key cities. Down over in the Caucasus region, we have Azerbaijan making the first movement in this area. We have them pushing into Armenia from both sides, which eventually leads to the fall of the capital and the complete capitulation and surrender of Armenia. So now we have our first country to fall to something. Now, Azerbaijan is going to be setting its targets onto Georgia and Russia. Speaking of which, Georgia is getting pushed further and further in by Russia, and the capital is in closer and closer sights. We also have another advancement down in Azerbaijan decides that it's going to take this opportunity to try to capture the key city of Volgograd, previously known as Stalingrad, which is about right here if you didn't know. So with this, Azerbaijan decides to plummet its troops very secretly through the mountains, but it's a plumb through nonetheless. They finally are able to get across it, and they start sending in forces. With this, Georgia and Azerbaijan form a temporary pact, and with that, Georgia is able to start pushing out Russia. What is my dog doing? What the dog doing? You thought I was gonna miss the opportunity to say that? No, no, no. So with this new open front, Georgia starts pushing out and is able to get through the mountains eventually. They then go in full speed to meet Azerbaijan head on to help them out. Together, both of the countries' armies start pushing up in hopes of capturing Volgograd until they're met up with a bit of a bit of a breakthrough right here, like not a breakthrough, but a stopping point. Yeah, they're stopped by Russian troops. Jesus. This little area right here is slightly encircled, but it's not really necessary because it's just a mountain region. And somewhat of a siege begins in the two encircled areas. Back over in Ukraine, we have Ukraine successfully, after 8 years, liberating all of Crimea, and it's insane. And the whole world's going wild. Um, and if you're wondering why Turkey isn't in this war, because for Azerbaijan's sake, like I said before, no foreign interference. Over in the Stan alliance, we have the Stans liking the idea of taking Volgograd, so they started to do that too. This leads to Georgia and Azerbaijan being pretty annoyed, so they decide to do a small naval landing over in the Caspian Sea, which they're able to successfully do. Frick! I even said frick weird. Freak. Okay. Anyways, so we have both Georgia and Azerbaijan making landings in the Caspian Sea into Kazakhstan. Um, Back over in the Baltics, we have no progress is being made. Jesus, except for a very small and minuscule push from Lithuania to knock out Belarus. Um, let's go back over to the place that started this war. Ukraine didn't start this war. Russia did, okay? And Georgia didn't invade Ukraine. Jesus. Um, we have Ukraine successfully pushing out more and more Russian troops and getting two good encirclements. Russia then decides that they're gonna have to just go screw it, and they're gonna try to plumb their troops right through Ukraine. And if you don't know, they sent about 150,000 down there. But that didn't go too well. So now Russia sends in some other troops and gets a good encirclement. And they're able to recapture Mariupol, which was never captured because it was under siege, but now it's captured. With this, Ukraine also decides to bring in its troops and even starts asking civilians to fight for them. With Ukraine doing this, we also see Moldova deciding to hop in on the war. Because Moldova finally comes to its senses and realizes, wait, if these guys defeat Ukraine, they're probably still going to invade me. Because if you don't know, Belarus leaked on a live stream talking about how evil Ukraine was, that they were going to invade Moldova. So, yeah, great planning, guys. With the Moldovan support, Ukraine is able to start a pretty good offensive because Moldova sending in lots of troops. Back over in Georgia and Azerbaijan, we have Russia slightly being able to liberate itself in the mountains, but not much else is happening.